Thanks for your company. The details now. Government is being urged to abandon any intention to dispose of the Komenda sugar factory. The $35 million factory built during the John Mahama administration was intended to save the country the massive amount of foreign exchange used to import sugar whilst providing jobs. The factory has, however, been idle, with machinery said to be rotting away despite promises by the current administration to revive it. The Trades Minister told Parliament last week government will decide by the end of the month what to do with it after processes to identify a strategic investor are concluded. JoyNews has meanwhile cited a technical committee report which revalues the factory at $12 million, and a member of Parliament for Komenda, Samuel Atamil, says it would amount to armed robbery if government goes ahead to sell the factory, especially at that value.
If they are valuing this at $12 million, that is armed robbery. How can a country borrow $35 million to build a factory, and this factory was valued at $35 million when it was built? How come a very short time you are telling us that it's valued at $12 million? What happened to the $22 or $23 million? This is armed robbery. And I think the Auditor General needs to get involved. The Auditor General needs to get involved and then investigate. The Special Prosecutor needs to get involved and investigate. A factory, look, if the value was not $35 million, let us know about it. But how can we build a $35 million factory and then value it at $12 million? If it was the same company that valued at $35 million when NDC was in power, and it's now valuing at $12 million when NPP is in power, God forgive us.
You think there's something wrong somewhere?
Of course it has to be. Yeah, of course there has to be a problem somewhere. How come when NDC is in power, it's a different price, and then when NPP is in power, it's a different price? If that is what the reports show, I'll be very much surprised, and I wouldn't think an internationally renowned company like this will put its reputation on the floor like this.
The MP for Komenda also urged government to at least retain a stake in the factory.
The government should have shares in it. The government should have ownership, and then maybe we could have an investor who would partner with government. Let's sell our airport then. We don't need it. An investor can come and take over the airport and then pay us whatever money. What do we need Bank of Ghana for? Sell it to an investor. The thing is, the private investor coming, his main aim is profitability and to protect shareholders' equity. A government, your purpose is not profitability, but to make sure that your citizens are served and served properly. And just to come with an investor without anybody knowing about it, what kind of value are they going to put on this factory? Why can't the government come with an investor that the government will have shares in it? Are we going to sell it the way that we sold Ghana Airways?
Are you afraid that's what will happen?
That is my fear.
Okay.
That is my fear.
Okay.
Will this investor think about the citizens of that area? Will the farmers over there get jobs? Will the youth over there get jobs? Was that the purpose for building this? I know the Ministry of Trade and Industry will not be able to run it, but the factory. But let's have a management team. Just like we have so many other government-owned factories or businesses. Let's sell cocoa board to an investor and then sit down and just wait.
Meanwhile, residents of Komenda in the central region are expressing frustration with government over the delay in reviving the sugar factory there. Though the factory has encountered several challenges in its implementation, even before the Akufo-Addo government assumed office, this government promised to get the factory working. That promise is, however, yet to be fulfilled, and residents say they've had enough of the excuses. Richard Kojonyako sent in this report from Komenda.
So the 30th of May was when this Komenda sugar factory was commissioned by President John Dramani Mahama. It was the same day little Akosua was also born at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Now, next month, Akosua will be 3 years. Akosua is growing beautifully. But the Komenda sugar factory is simply refusing to grow. There are no activities here that would romance the machines in there to produce the sugar, the very purpose for which the Komenda sugar factory was established. Ever since it was commissioned, the structure is gradually rusting away. Now, ever since it was commissioned, days have been swallowed into weeks, weeks have been swallowed into months, and months have been swallowed into years. But here is the factory that stands idle. Isaac Bentumi used to work in the old Komenda sugar factory. In fact, he learnt many skills here, but now he strolls by the Komenda sugar factory carrying a painful heart.
I am here. Opening Akufo-Addo. So I be no so do family work na okodo. What I feel na udua ma bibia oyi sisi ano. I
am sad at what is happening. I was looking forward to the continuation of the Komenda sugar factory after a change in government. By now, we should have been seeing vigorous planting of sugarcane to feed the factory. I have worked in the Komenda sugar factory for the past 17 years. I learned how to drive here. I used to drive Caterpillar and other machines. But now, it pains me that the factory has become a white elephant. So this is the Komenda town, and as you can see, a lot of people are gathered here. The young and the old are here. They are playing drafts. They tell me that it's because they don't have anything to do. They were hoping that the Komenda sugar factory would operate so that some of them would get some jobs to do.
Sugar factory,
my name is Mr. Oting. If the sugar factory were working, you wouldn't have come here to see us playing drafts. There is no job here apart from fishing. Now the fishing industry is not doing any better. We are pleading with government to make the Komenda sugar factory work. Our youth here have now turned into thieves and prostitutes. It was our expectations that the government would make the sugar factory work. But nothing has happened to the Komenda sugar factory. The money that was used to construct the factory is not a paltry amount. It is our own money that is being wasted. We want government to do something about it to get the factory running. We are pleading with government to make the sugar factory work. There is no job here. It has made some of us very vulnerable. This factory was constructed with a cost of $35 million, and the residents say it breaks their hearts to watch the factory waste away. The factory now is rusting away, standing idle with no activity to produce the sugar that has been touted about for years. From the Komenda Sugar Factory, my name is Richard Kojonyako for JoyNews.